WTF. Y'all can look up
Chase,
what that
mean,
means.
Chase?
What the freak?
Okay.
Shady, does Myles Garrett signing put pressure on the Cowboys, Michael Parsons?
Yeah. You see a great pass rusher get paid? You got a younger great pass rusher. It's time for him to get paid.
No question.
It should be no question that Michael Parsons should be the highest paid defensive player of all time today.
No question.
Not tomorrow, today. He's that good, and he's still young. And another thing about Michael Parsons, I got to say this honestly, and it's not because I'm being biased from Harrisburg, I think we haven't even seen his ceiling yet.
Yeah, that's
We know Myles Garrett's ceiling.
point.
He's a great player. Deepest player of the year, we know that. I think the ceiling for Michael Parsons, I don't even know what that is.
I agree.
Because you can put him anywhere. He's the only defensive player in the league that you put him anywhere. Myles Garrett, you know where he's going. T.J. Watt, you know where you putting his hand at. Micah in the dirt, in the A-gap, linebacker, outside, anywhere.
Reach.
So when you got a guy like that, you pay him. Imagine a world where they said, Lawrence Taylor, are we going to pay him all this money? Aaron Donald, are we going to... Hello? Michael Parsons in that same category.
Yep.
Cowboys, I didn't watch y'all mess around and pay Dak when you should never pay him. I watched y'all play around with CeeDee Lamb when you should have paid him and you wait a little longer. Don't mess this up. Yeah. Pay that Harrisburg kid that paper. Because one thing I learned about this, when you pay them kids from Harrisburg, they be the best player on your team.
Yeah.
With it, I like it.
It absolutely puts pressure on the Cowboys. I talked to Micah's agent this morning, obviously a close friend of mine in Mulugeta. I said, hey, bro, Myles Garrett got paid. You know, Micah, y'all finna jump him? Very simple. And Mulugeta always speaks in like stuff like this.
I love him, though.
He said two things gonna happen in the world I can guarantee you. Sun gonna rise, and Michael Parsons gonna get paid. That's two things.
Hey, he be balling too, though, dog.
But we know that.
Gotta be, yo, I'm gonna lie.
So he gonna get probably, like you said, 40, 41, 42. I just know this. He will jump Myles Garrett. Now, for those that suggest Michael Parsons isn't Myles Garrett, that's fair. But through the first 4 years in the NFL, Myles Garrett wasn't Michael Parsons. Only Micah Parsons and Reggie White started their career 4 consecutive seasons, 12 or more sacks. Reggie White, I said, people, finished his career, I believe, with 198 sacks. So Micah Parsons will get his money. Like Shady said, and I don't disagree with Shady much, and I won't disagree here, Micah Parsons is more versatile than Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is better at what he does, which is rush the passer, than Micah Parsons. But Micah, you can put him in off-ball backer and blitz him more fluidly than you can Myles. You don't have to with Myles, though, because he can do whatever he does, and he does it at a high level. So it does put pressure on the Cowboys. Chase, I'll let you take the baton as it pertains to why Jerry waits so long, because that's my next take, but I won't step on your toes.
Well, and that's what, it absolutely puts the pressure on the Cowboys. But I don't think it's necessarily just a sign. Like, it's going to put the pressure on a decision. Do we need to trade him or do we need to sign him? And before Myles Garrett jumped more than $5 million a year, the DN market, I'm like, sign him. Jerry, what are you waiting for? Jerry, when are you going to learn that you need to stop negotiating against yourself? Because you could have got this deal done at the start of the offseason for $36 million. Now, over the course of his contract, you're going to pay him, if you sign him, $30 more million over the course of a contract. Do you as a franchise, do you as an organization want to pay Micah Parsons 4-year, $170 million? 4-year, $175 million? I don't know what it is because I agree with Shady. We haven't seen a ceiling. So he is going to get more. That's just, Jerry's always playing catch up. He's always playing, he did it with CD. You could have got it done early. You're doing it with Micah. Now you might lose him. Now it's got to be a reasonable talk in the facility. Do we truly believe Micah Parsons is worth $175 million, or are we going to use that and disperse it elsewhere throughout our roster to try and make us a better team? Because in the history of the game, there's never been a team with 3 $30+ million a year guys. And the Dallas Cowboys, if they sign Micah, will be that case. I think that's the frustrating part for the Dallas Cowboys. They could have had Micah for $36, $37 million a year. Now the price just went up, and the longer you wait, it just went further up. Because Micah's seeing that, the WTF, he's laughing like, man, I'm going straight to the bank with this. You know what I mean? And so it's for him, it's like, Jerry, what are we doing? Get your stuff done right away.
Yeah, I heard the conversation, too. Mulugeta was on speaker, and he said he was looking at houses. Because, Micah didn't get paid, he buying him a new house. You talked about it, and I just want to show the world the graphic of what Micah Parsons is his first 4 years compared to Myles Garrett. Just look at it. Sacks. Look at the tackles, the All-Pros, the Pro Bowls. He is on a different planet. And you know what? If they try to do what Chase is doing, something stupid, and trade Micah, now you got to go into the draft and you got to go into free agency and you got to say, hey, man, we're looking for a guy that can pass rush, that can play linebacker, that's fast, that got speed, that can make all these plays, be a 3-time pro. You're looking for that. You know where that guy's at? Nowhere.
Nowhere.
He ain't in the draft. He ain't in free agency. He ain't nowhere. You know where he at? He in Dallas. And he on your team. You know, so the only thing that's frustrating about this whole situation is you waited too long, Dallas, and now the price has went way up. When are y'all going to learn to pay these players so y'all can get them at a good price and keep them in the building? Now Mike is going to sit there and say, if you ain't starting with 40, why am I coming in the office?
Look at the team before we look at the team in your division, Shady. The Philadelphia Eagles. What does Howie Roseman do? He pays players early. He sets the market so he doesn't have to chase the market. And when the market comes back around, they're under contract for a very similar number. That's okay.
It's only one Howie.
But I'm saying, learn from your division.
I know. Before you leave, to say this, though. This is not all about Jerry. It's not all his fault. I watch him give them guys 9 All-Pros, and your quarterback choked out like every other year. So when you want to talk about the team, just remember that. I know that. All right? I got you, Jerry. I got you, dog.
Hey, when we return, Devontae Adams claw, beg, plead, and cry for his 34. No, because the difference is this. And when I was talking to, and he wouldn't mind me sharing this, when I was talking to Rich Paul about the trade, about the AD Luke trade, I was like, how in the world you trade Luka? That don't make no sense. And he said the thought process is Luka will score 34, but his opponent will score 31. And so while Luka's scoring 34, he's allowing 31. His context was AD will score 28. But he'll allow 19 or 20. So, yes, Luka scored 34. But like Shady said, like I said, like Chase watched, like you at home definitely watched. Luka's getting a bucket. They're going down, they getting buckets.
But how about when Luka has 34 and 15? Like, Luka makes everybody around him better, too, though.
Offensively. But to Shady's point, I got to say this very quickly. Defensively, you get worse when Luka's on the court. Because LeBron James' eyes are on because LeBron James' eyes are so heavy on Luka, knowing Luka's going to get beat, now LeBron's giving up lobs that he normally wouldn't give up. Because you got to sit here and you got to say, okay, I know Luka's getting beat. Yeah. It's like when you sit here at linebacker and you know your 3-tech isn't going to take 2 on the guard, so the guard's going to come up clean. So now you're completely vacating your past responsibilities because you know if it's a run, this offensive guard's coming up clean. LeBron's eyes are completely on Luka because he's like, I know Luka finna get beat and I'm about to have to help.
So the Lakers have had the #1 defense
since January 21st.
January 21st. And this one game got you going all the way.
What about the game before that, James? What about Jalen Brunson dropping 40?
They won, though.
What about the game before that?
And after that game, you came on this show with Slick. Yeah. You said the greatest things about the Lakers and them being.
Oh, I wasn't here for that.
I know.
No, you should have heard him.
I would have definitely said something about that.
And them being one of the greatest duos. And this one game.
And what was the response? What was the response, which is why Jaylen Brown made me a lot of money? Slick said, and I respect Slick's basketball opinion, the Lakers struggle with the dribble penetrator and a guy who can shoot a mid-range. That's why I bet JB going over 25. And what exactly happened? Jaylen Brown is a dribble penetrator, different than Tatum. Tatum will shoot threes. I think he shot 16 of them in the game. I think he went 5 for 16. JB going to get into the paint. He going to shoot a mid-range pull-up, and that's exactly what he did.
So basically what you're saying, like, is what I'm hearing, like, you don't think the Lakers is like a contender now?
No, of course.
No,
the West is different.
I'm asking because he's
the
saying,
Lakers
like,
can still. I do not believe that the Western Conference teams pose the same threat that the Eastern Conference teams, particularly the Celtics, do. The Celtics are uniquely built to be able to guard 1 through 4. I won't suggest 1 through 5 because I do not think Kristaps is D'ing up Luka with all due respect.
That's exactly what my takeaway was, is that the Celtics are definitely one of the teams that can beat the Lakers in the playoffs. Like this, that's what I took from it. Like, I don't think the Lakers are deep enough to contend with what I think is the best team in basketball outside of the Thunder. And so for me, it's like, I think this is a finals preview. Like, I do think the Lakers in the West can contend. I do think in a 7-game series versus the Thunder, they could probably end up taking it. But also, like, Boston's big, strong, athletic.
Everything. They're everything.
Everyone can guard Luka, okay? From Brown, Tatum, Derek White,
and they want
Holiday.
to.
And I think for them, they make it hard for the Lakers to penetrate to the paint.
Yes.
And if they're taking away Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves doesn't play like that, like their big 3, as you're saying, that's a problem for me. So this is one, check it off the list. The Celtics, they can beat the Lakers in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I think in the finals, 4-2 or 4-1.